Jonathan Taylor inking a big fat extension, signing a 3-year, $42 million contract extension. And what does this mean for right now? What's this mean for week 5? What's this mean for week 6, 7, 8? What's this mean for Anthony Richardson? What's it mean from a dynasty perspective? We're going to break it all down right now. The Fantasy Football Show. Bijan, Kelce, little emergency live stream, as well as breaking news live stream begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Jonathan Taylor inks a $42 million contract extension, a 3-year deal. Taylor gets $26.5 million guaranteed, $14 million annually, making him the third highest paid running back in the NFL behind Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. Taylor, 24 years old. This is fantastic news for anybody that's been holding Taylor, obviously in redraft or dynasty. But this is very, very excellent news for 100,000 different reasons. When you think about it, the fact that this guy is no longer at odds with his own organization is probably the biggest news we could even drum up right now on JT. The fact that this guy is and someone could say he could still get traded. I don't know. You never know in today's NFL. But JT getting this big fat contract is fantastic. He's now not at odds right now. He's now happy. He's now motivated. This is one of the reasons we said, okay, if he did go back to Indy, is there a part of like us that thinks, oh, he won't try as hard, or oh, he won't be motivated to play football, and if he went somewhere else, he would still want a contract, but he'd at least be hopeful that he could get one, even if he was traded without the contract, which usually does not happen. But in this case, we thought it could, because JT be like, get me out. If they're not going to pay me, get me out. It's weird that things took a turn, but they did. And this extension puts him on track to play this week, obviously, but on a pitch count. And we'll hear more. There could be some sort of surprise as far as, his play this week, but I'm near positive at this point, at least, he's going to be playing, but on a pitch count. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not playing him. Like, pitch count could still mean 10 carries, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, and 45 yards. Hard to not play JT in at least your flex spot, especially with the bye weeks this week. We got several bye weeks on the docket. So it kind of depends on your situation. Bye weeks, if anybody is sitting here wondering, Cleveland Browns, Chargers, Seahawks, Tampa Bay Bucks, there are a lot of players out this week, 4 teams on a bye. So it is hard to imagine. Everybody's teams are built differently. Everybody's leagues are different. Everybody's bench sizes are different. Everybody's in an 8-man, a 10-man, a 12-man, a 14-man, a 16-man. I think in the 8 and 10s, maybe you have other options that could rival JT in your flex, but JT should probably be started unless you have some amazing options. But this is fantastic news. Now, what's it mean for Anthony Richardson? Well, I mean, honestly, I know a lot of you think, okay, I don't want Richardson to get vultured, but at the same time, like, Richardson will do the vulturing. If anybody's going to get hurt on a rushing touchdown opportunity, it's probably JT, because the man that's going to have the ball in his hands is Anthony Richardson, and anything near the 1 or any sort of sneak situation, they're letting Richardson take a little dive over the pile. They're not necessarily going to go with JT. So, like, I do feel like Anthony Richardson owners shouldn't be worried about this. This just makes Anthony Richardson harder to defend, harder to game plan against, harder to shadow, harder to keep eyeballs on, because this man right here is running around, roaming around. From a dynasty and long-term perspective for JT, we don't know where he would have went. Like, this is better than going to an ambiguous situation where things don't mesh well. There's worse situations than this right here. Even if Anthony Richardson could vulture some rushing touchdowns, there's a lot of dump-offs. There's a lot of 100-yard games. There's a lot of yardage to go around. There's not a whole lot of talent. This team isn't overloaded with talent outside of Anthony Richardson. Pittman's not an elite wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2. You know, he's a glorified elite wide receiver 2. He's not an elite wide receiver 1. He's not. I don't care what anybody says. Michael Pittman's not that. He could play at that level because there's no one else there. And so could he be overfed in games and look like a wide receiver 1? Sure. But JT is in a pretty damn good spot. And if you consider the fact that he's going to be leaned upon, a lot of dump-off passes, when you consider that Zach Moss was pretty highly ranked for a short period of time this year, meaning that the volume is present and available for an RB to be, you know, tossed around in trades as a pretty decent trade piece, then you realize that he'll be fine. He'll be fine. At the end of the day, the volume will be there. I'm very excited about this for Jonathan Taylor. And it was kind of unexpected today. It just became officially official 40 minutes ago. But there, you know, this had broke a couple hours ago. Your boy was out, so I didn't want to go live on my phone. I wanted to come back here and do an appropriate live stream. But this is fantastic news. And anybody that has Jonathan Taylor, you know, temper your expectations this week. But I don't know that there's some reports that it'll take him a couple months to get going. That's not the case. It's going to take him 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 games to get up to maybe full workload. Okay? We can't sit there and expect it to be in week number 5, his first week back. We don't want him going out there and getting injured. A lot of times players that hold out end up getting injured and hurt. He's just coming back from injury. He hasn't played since what was it? It was like week 14, I think, when Jonathan Taylor last played. So not only has he not played all this year, he didn't play at the end of last year. So we're very much wanting to make sure he doesn't get injured. But at the same time, we're all pretty eager beavers to get this man out onto the field. So expect him to be on the field in week number 5, unless we get word. I'll obviously monitor that, and that there's a shot that something comes up. But I'm pretty sure he'll be on a snap count. I'm pretty sure he'll still get enough touches to warrant pretty much anybody's flex spot. Now, if you have a dilemma, bring it in and we'll debate it. Like maybe you've got somebody, maybe you've got you're probably debating Zay Flowers and JT and things like that. And I can't really in good conscience put JT on the bench over any wide receiver, 3 or flex option that is of that variety, even though I do really love my boys Zay Flowers and guys like that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, why we need to go get Bijan Robinson, okay? Why we need to go get Travis Kelce and why we need to go get them now. Because this week I think the tide turns for both gentlemen walking into week number 5. And if you don't go get Bijan Robinson right now, when people think he's just a yardage specialist, he's going to get you 100 yards, and that's all there is to eat in Atlanta. He's not going to contend with the touchdown getters like Christian McCaffrey and other RB Smitty. This was a bad prediction. We're not hitting that Bijan, all he does is score touchdowns button, which I admit I haven't pressed because I don't feel it's right to press the button until he comes in with a 2-3 touchdown game. I do believe this might be the week that Bijan Robinson punches in a double-digit touchdown performance and maybe even higher. And I believe that this is the week that we get back to Bijan's the best. Oh my God, he is the future. He is the only RB. He is the 1.1. I feel like everybody's gotten away from that a little bit because he hasn't scored touchdowns. And I understand that there's concern that this offense won't feed him properly. I just don't think that that's going to hold true, and people are going to feel that way in the next couple weeks. And if there was a time to buy low, the time is now. No one's saying in Dynasty he's much cheaper than he should be. He's probably maybe a touch cheaper. I think him and Gibbs, especially Gibbs you can get in Dynasty pretty easily, and I don't think people realize that Gibbs is still very much an exciting up-and-coming future running back in this National Football League. From a dynasty perspective, it's been a slow start for Gibbs, but at some point Gibbs is going to be very, very attainable He is very attainable. At some point, he won't be very attainable once he, gets on his horse at some point. I know a lot of people think Gibbs won't, and that's fine. That's why Gibbs is a great buy low. A lot of people doubt him. I think there are a handful of people in a league that would probably say, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if Bijan will ever really work out. I think he'll be great. He's great. He's awesome. But Atlanta just scares me, Smitty, and I don't think they're going to give him the ball. And that little fear, that little seed of doubt is the reason why you could go get him using two players. I mean, you could use an RB and a wide receiver that aren't even like top 10 overall, but combine them together and maybe land a Bijan Robinson. You could maybe trade, let's say, if we look around, Josh Jacobs, let's say, Josh Jacobs and a wide receiver, not even a top 5 or 6 wide receiver, but couple of Josh Jacobs with the wide receiver, probably get Bijan Robinson. Someone like an Ayuk. I think somebody would probably trade Bijan for Ayuk and Josh Jacobs. That's totally understandable from one perspective. I'm just on the other side of that fence. I'm on the other side of that fence saying buy him at that value before it's too late. Before it's too late, because this man is going to become Christian McCaffrey in everyone's mind, where he's unattainable. I will not trade him. He just scored 125 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns in a game. He's untouchable. That day's coming. The touchdown production's coming. I think he starts scoring a boatload of touchdowns on the regular. He starts becoming a touchdown specialist, and it's either starting this week or next week, and I think now is the time to grab him. Travis Kelce, same thing. Look, what do we learn out of the Justin Fields little microcosm of glory, where he was not good in weeks 1, 2, and 3, but literally the best quarterback, or second best quarterback at least, in the National Football League in week number 4, and probably going to be in week number 5. What do we learn? We learned that DJ Moore was tied to that production. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's an oxymoron when you look back and examine it, right? We talked about this when people were doubting DJ Moore, and we said, what's going on with DJ Moore? Is DJ Moore going to bust? Is it DJ Moore's fault? No, it's not DJ Moore's fault. Just like Jamar Chase is not a bad player. Jamar Chase is still a top 2 wide receiver in the National Football League. The problem is Jamar Chase doesn't have Joe Burrow on point. And the problem for DJ Moore is he didn't have Justin Fields on point. How in the hell is DJ Moore going to do DJ Moore things when his quarterback isn't throwing the football? When his quarterback isn't accurate? When his quarterback isn't having a good game? The same thing here. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been himself. He hasn't been himself at all this year. And I do not think that's going to continue. Absolutely 0% chance in my mind Patty Mahomes doesn't explode. The moment Patty Mahomes explodes, this man, Travis Kelce, returns to his elite form. When I watch Kelce, I don't feel there's a drop-off. I know we're all worried about him getting older, right? And he hasn't done anything. But this is a man in Travis Kelce that looks the part still. He's a little distracted with the whole Taylor Swift stuff. I will admit that stuff's a distraction. But it's a team distraction, just like Patrick Mahomes' brother. They're going to get over it. This whole family's got all these distractions constantly. This whole KC family. But I'm telling you right now, this man is attainable just like this man's attainable right now. Not cheap, not cellar dweller material, but in deals you won't be able to offer. You could get this man. After this week, you will not be able to offer said deals. After this week, you will not be able to offer said deals. Both of these gentlemen can be had now, right now, and only right now, at these lower prices, discounted prices. The moment Mahomes pops off, and I believe that will be this week, against the Minnesota Vikings, I think these two gentlemen, and this guy too. I know it's the Texans. Texans have been playing well. This is a home game. I think it's a good game. I'm not saying that the Falcons win the game, but this is the game that these two gentlemen pop off and have the touchdown production and the overall yardage production we've been waiting for. It is Bijan and Travis Kelce season go forward. Buy them now, or you won't be able to get them at these discounted prices. And again, JT, congratulations on your new contract, young man. Let's give him a standing O. All All right, let's get to these super chats here. Appreciate everybody coming in strong with your supers. The first super of the night is from Kane of the day. Is from Kane. Kane gets a standing O, as does every first super chat of the day. You the man. Update on Gibbs. Pick 2. Update on Gibbs. What are we looking for on Gibbs? I mean, Gibbs. We don't know anything yet. As far as Gibbs' status, he's questionable. We'll find out tomorrow. I'll check the news and all the notes and the Twitters and the Twitter sphere. I don't see anything yet at all as far as him playing. If he does play, he's a fantastic start with Amon-Ra St. Brown doubtful and out of this game. So we'll keep tabs. I don't see anything new. I'm refreshing right now. Questionable for week 5. Injury report on Friday. Nothing new on Gibbs. So we'll keep tabs on that. Pick 2. Him, Dell, or Watson. Probably Watson's your safest play, Kane. Even if Gibbs was the play, I'd probably go Christian Watson. But Gibbs is a fantastic play if he does end up suiting up, just because they're going to probably need his wide receiver services. We also got a $20 hauler from Thomas who wants me to rip off a set. We're going to do shoulders today, Thomas. $20 hauler, shoulders.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, Thomas, dropping the $20 hauler. Makes Smitty not only do the $20 hauler celebration, but also rip off a set, because you guys are going to get me ripped. JT or James Conner. God, that one's tough. Can I get a chat vote on that one? We going JT or James Conner? I mean, JT will be on a snap count, but it is one of those things where it's like... It's tough. It's tough. It's tough, bro. Hit me with an answer, yes or no, on this JT or JT or Connor vote. Drop a JT or Connor vote. Kelce, JT, Connor. So far split. Would you sell Achane for a high? Would I sell Achane for a high wide receiver like Olave or Ayuk? No. Connor, JT, Connor, JT. Connor safe is Connor, JT is risky, JT, Connor, JT. Pretty even. I think what I'd tell you, Thomas, is that if you need a swing, like a big swing, you could go JT, but the safest route, as the chat alluded to, is probably James Conner. It's just one of those. It's a decent matchup too, So I'll probably roll with Conner in this one. I think Conner qualifies as a slight higher than flex play. So JT I think would be a great flex, but I think Connor's probably a good running back too. So thank you for the super chat. All right, next super chat. If anybody, I see somebody saying super chat alert. I know, bro. We're going through them one at a time here in the order in which they're received. Getting Kelce for Pickens and either Walker or Achane. I don't trade Achane, and I probably would take Kelce over Walker if you can survive. Which running back would you rather give up? I'm not giving up Achane. I probably wouldn't trade Achane for Kelce, bro. I'm just telling you that right now. I have CMC, Walker, Achane, JT, Hall. You definitely have the ability to trade one of these. I would trade Kenneth Walker for Kelce. It also helps you this week. Definitely hard to do, but I would do it. I still draft Kelce ahead of Walker. Pick up Joshua Palmer or Rashee Rice. Probably Rice, but this is a tough one. This is a crapshoot. This is a dice roll. Each week you could get that one wrong. Should I trade Ridley, DK for Adams? I wouldn't give up both wide receivers for Adams. I think Ridley can rival Adams. I think Ridley could still be better or right there or even. D Swift, Bills defense for JT. D Swift, I'd probably long-term on the season rather have JT. But I still very much believe in Swift. I still very much love Swift. And obviously this one's going to hurt you this week. So you got to keep that into account. But if you can take it, if you're 3-1, you got 3 wins, etc., then it's not a bad move. I do like JT a little bit more on the long term for the year. 3-1 team is Burrow, Love, Walker, David Montgomery, Pierce, Sharps, Chase, Ridley, London, Ertz. Got offered Hurts, Olave, and Dell for Burrow. Burrow and Chase. Hurts, Olave, and Dell for Burrow and Chase. I would take Hurts, Olave, and Dell because Burrow's hampered. I do believe Burrow does kind of bounce back this week, but I think he has a chance to really turn it around, much like Fields has. Maybe not to the degree Fields has because he's injured and Fields isn't. So we won't get that top 2 quarterback scoring double weeks in a row, like etc. Huge climb back up in the fantasy scoring. I mean, Fields is number 1. He's the number 1 quarterback in fantasy. Granted, no Week 5 quarterbacks have played but Howell, but he's climbed into the number 1 spot, which is remarkable, and probably only 4 or 5 at most quarterbacks will probably catch him. So he'll finish in the top 5 or 6 at least in quarterback scoring on the year after the Week 5 quarterbacks play. It's remarkable. But I do believe Burrow could bounce back. But because there's a lot of uncertainty, maybe he retweaks it. There's injury risk of further injury. Give me Hurts, Olave, Tyler, and I like that side a lot. And Olave is still a top 10 wide receiver. I know people are forgetting that after 1 week. Thank you. Appreciate you, Thomas. AR, Amon-Ra St. Brown, McLaughlin. So what are we doing? Pick one. McLaughlin, Downs, Raymond. I'm probably going to go McLaughlin. Also hold Raymond or grab Bigsby. Grab Bigsby. Don't leave Bigsby out on the waiver wire. 2 wide receiver, 2 flex wide receivers are Amon-Ra St. Brown, Waddle, Watson, Dell. Okay. So McLaughlin, bro, and Bigsby. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate your super chat. This one here from Nicholas, and then we got a $50 hauler from Stanton coming in with a wad. Smitty, go get some of that chicken you and Miss Smitty like on Stanton from Culver's. Bijan to the moon. Smitty, you're the man. $20 hauler from Stanton. This is 20 reps right here.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Oh, Stanton making me pump it out. Stanton, appreciate you. Woo. Stanton to the moon. I'm going to keep Stanton up in the corner here. Stanton, appreciate you. Traded Cooper. Stanton to the moon. Chicken on Stanton. We're eating Culver's tonight, baby. Maybe we're eating something better than Culver's tonight on Stanton. Stanton to the moon. Stanton to the moon.
To the moon.
Jeez. Traded Amari Cooper, Roshan Johnson, and Spears to Deshaun Watson owner for Bijan. Roshan traded Amari Cooper, Roshan. This is what I'm talking about. Everyone's like, "Oh, you can't buy Smitty. There's no way you're buying Bijan Robinson low. Nobody's selling him in my league, Smitty." The world does not just revolve around your league. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. Stop talking about how your league doesn't allow this when everybody else's does. Bijan Robinson is unbelievable. Great job. Nicholas to the moon. Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Unbelievable, Nicholas. Nicholas doing amazing things out there on the trade market. James Smith with a $5 hauler. 1 and 3 Burrow, Love, Swift, Monty, James Cook, Warren, Roshan, Algier, Chase, Olave, Waddle. Great wide receivers, bro. Very good running backs. His team's very solid. James Cook could be used to upgrade Burrow into like a Mahomes or Hurts if you wanted. Who to start, Waddle or Cook? I'm probably starting... That's a tough one. I'd probably start Waddle, but that's, Cook might be safer. Cook's probably your safe play. Waddle's your high risk, high reward. I think Miami goes nuts in this game at home against the Giants, so I kind of want to lean Waddle, but bro, Cook is safer. Waddle is the higher risk, higher reward play. Any trade ideas or targets? Again, using Cook to upgrade that quarterback, and that way you don't have a dilemma on your hands at flex every week. Although depth is nice with the bye weeks coming up. But, I mean, maybe Roshan steps up at some point. And we'll find out more on the concussion protocol for him for the next week. Stanton, appreciate that super chat again, pal. You're the man. James, appreciate you with this super chat here. We got Case with the $5 hauler. Yo, Smitty, you're the best. No, you're the best. You're the best fantasy football channel. Thank you. Joe, the fantasy football, whatever his name is, doesn't compare. We don't even know who that is. We don't even know who is that guy. Downgrade. Jahmyr Gibbs doubtful. Son of a, damn it. Jahmyr Gibbs doubtful. You know, it's just the way it goes. The moment you have an opportunity right in front of your face, St. Brown's out, and all of a sudden we got this chance for Gibbs to come in and literally play wide receiver a significant amount. This freaking unbelievable bad luck. Jahmyr Gibbs doubtful for Sunday's game versus the Panthers. Ugh. Sucks. That really, really, really sucks. Should I start Swift Andrews for? Should I trade Swift and Andrews for Kelce? That's a lot. I think that depends on your team, Dark Knight. I think if you can weather through the loss of Swift and still have like Breece Hall as your third running back or something, then this makes sense to get Kelce. But if let's say you're stuck on like kind of a really skeleton crew running back 2, or you're really thin at wide receiver, and you have 2 holes and you don't have a deep team, Swift and Andrews is tough to trade off. You almost have to keep the duo. But I do like Kelce a ton, and if you've got a ton of depth, this makes a lot of sense to make this trade. But only if you have depth, and it doesn't even hurt you. Traded Dobbs straight up for James Cook. That's a fire trade.
Just been Smitty approved.
Okay, let's see here. Just traded. Okay, thank you for your super chat. This one here is from Gifted. There's no message attached. I'll try and see if I can find something later on that one. Kevin, try and include your message, guys, in your super chat. 2 running backs and a flex, pick 3. James Cook, Kyren, Breece Hall, Gibbs, or Ridley. 2 running backs and a flex. So I'm going to take Kyren, and I'm going to take probably... James Cook is safer. Breece Hall's higher risk, higher reward. So if you need a big swing, you're playing DJ Moore and Fields, you go Breece Hall. If you had DJ Moore, let's say, or Fields or something, you're not telling me, or the person has a decimated team, or you're projected to win, or it's even tied, you could say James Cook safer. But I would probably roll with Breece Hall if I needed to swing. I'm definitely going Kyren. Unless we feel like Kyren is going to be limited on account. We'll find out later tonight and tomorrow. He's been banged up. So you could go James Cook and Breece if that feels that way. Gibbs is doubtful now, so you can't go with Gibbs. And then Ridley's your flex. Okay, so you could go James Cook, Breece, and Kyren. But I think I still would go Ridley, Breece, and Kyren as long as Kyren's good to go. Just got Hall and Gibbs for Stroud. That's a great trade. That's a great haul, bro. That's a fantastic haul for Breece Hall. Brian with a $10 hauler with nothing attached. I'll try and go find that. You guys got to include your messages, but I appreciate you. You got to include your messages in the super chat, because by the time I get to it, your other peripheral messages are nowhere near. So please try and keep your message inside the super chat. I will go look for both Gifted and Brian's in a second. Traded my Barkley and Moss for Debo and ETN. I like the Debo and ETN side. Zach Moss is now a backup, a glorified backup, so that's a good trade. This one right here, and Brian dropped another super chat. He dropped a $10 blank super chat and then a $10 redo on his super chat, which means that sum total, that's a $20 hauler.
Alert. Super Chat Alert. Alert. Super Chat Alert.
Much easier to get 10 reps in on the shoulders than it is the curls. So, Brian, appreciate you playing a tough team this week. Need upside. No idea who to start. Currently 3-1. Full PPR. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Swift, JT, Kamara. So I'm probably going to go. Your wide receivers are Diggs, G. Willie, Olave. Go Diggs, Olave. And then I'm going to go Swift, Kamara. Probably Breece Hall. Yeah. I wish I could put JT in, but you're one of those teams that doesn't necessarily need to use him this week. I wish I could put Garrett Wilson in, but your team is one that doesn't necessarily need to use him this week. Pretty safe plays. I think most of the chat would agree. And Garrett Wilson and JT, that puts you in a good spot. Like, you could trade Swift and Garrett Wilson for, like, an elite wide receiver, like top 3 wide receiver. So, Brian, I'd be looking to make a trade using Swift and Garrett Wilson. Maybe you have already, but those are I'd probably keep JT on the team versus trade JT. Swift and ETN, thank you for your $20 hauler. My good man, my kind sir. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. Brian to the moon. Brian to the freaking moon.
To the moon.
$20 hauler master. Alex, Swift, ETN, Garrett Wilson, or Nico at the flex. I'm going to go Swifty probably, bro. But, you know, ETN's a nice play, solid play. But I probably roll. I mean, I do like ETN, but Buffalo's tough. They're a little banged up, but Buffalo's tough. I'm probably just going to say, yeah, I mean, Philly, I think Philly has a nice little day. And I'm probably rolling. I just think that's in Buffalo. Yeah. The Rams, look, the Rams are playing. It's going to be a good game too. You know, I think the Rams are going to hang. I think the Eagles win the game, but it's in LA. So, I'll probably go Swift. If the chat disagrees, let me know, but I think the matchups make me lean that way. And matchups do not dictate everything, but they do help a little bit. Justin with a $20 wad.
Alert. Super Chat Alert. Alert. Super Chat Alert.
$10 haul. I'm going to get so ripped. And it's because of you guys. You guys are my trainer, essentially. Yes, Smitty. Team is running back McCaffrey, Walker, Kamara, Pacheco, good running backs. Olave, Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown, Pickens, QB Love, AR5. Man, so AR5 is your quarterback, no doubt about it. Make sure you're starting AR5 this week. McCaffrey obviously is in your lineup, as is Kamara. Probably Pacheco as a flex. Obviously Walker's on a bye, and Olave and Keenan Allen would normally be in your lineup, but he's on a bye. So I guess I'm going Hollywood because I don't trust the matchup for Pickens, and I don't trust Pickett yet until he's fully healthy. So your 2 wide receivers are Olave and Hollywood this week. And there's no real dilemma here. Should I upgrade wide receiver or any position? I would definitely say that, given you have Walker and Kamara and Pacheco to go with CMC, one of those is tradable if you can't start all 4 of them. If you can start all 4 of them, you don't need to do a thing. And you just ride with your wide receivers because you're going to plug one hole but create another hole. But if you can't start more than 3 running backs, then I would definitely look to trade probably Walker. I think Pacheco is tradable. Maybe Pacheco for Waddle or Devontae Smith or Ridley or Olave if you can. Maybe even an injured St. Brown's a tempting move for Pacheco right now. There's a risk to it, but Or do you end up going a direction of like Walker for a bigger gun, But even Walker is probably going to get you maybe some of that top level wide receiver material anyway. So like you try with Pacheco first, because maybe you end up only getting a Devontae Smith for Walker, and maybe you can get that with Pacheco. So certainly would try and do that. I really would. I think you've got enough firepower at RB to make that happen. Definitely would be tempted to do that. If you don't, though, your team's still very, very good. Solid team. Thanks again, Brian, for the super chat. 2 and 2 running backs: Swift, JT, Kamara, Brees, Gibbs, wide receivers. Playing a tough team this week. Did I get this one? No idea who to start. Yeah, 3-1. This is the one I just did, right? So 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. So it's Swift, Kamara, Brees. Yeah, I got that one. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you for your super chat. Young with the super 12-man full PPR. Burrow, Love, Saquon, Achane, McLaughlin, Javonte, Roshan, Sun God, Ridley, Dell, Pickens, Dotson, Michael Wilson. 0-5. What do I do? Wow. Can't believe. I mean, Saquon, Burrow have killed you. You're starting Love this week probably, right? Saquon is just... He's been a mess, bro. Right now, Achane and McLaughlin. If Saquon were to play, barring some miracle, you would obviously play him. But that's tough, man. That's tough. But hopefully McLaughlin steps up if you need him. And Ridley, and Sun God being out, you're just decimated. Ridley and Dell. And probably Pickens, obviously, you could go Michael Wilson over Pickens, but good God, you've been decimated, you poor man. You're probably going to have a solid chance of being 0-6, but Young, I don't know what to tell you on this team. I wish you could somehow, some way bounce back from this and trade Saquon, but I don't know that anybody's going to trade for Saquon right now. Achane is my favorite target using Saquon, but part of me wonders if you could just go straight across and trade for an elite wide receiver and piecemeal your running back situation together and just say, give me the best value. Let me just score the most amount of points. Because Saquon for a RB is such a tough sell that people don't want to downgrade their RB into a guy that they don't know if it's going to play. They don't know what's going to go on. So, like, can you get rid of him for a Devontae Smith and throw 3 elite wide receivers out there and hope Jordan Love continues to blow up and Achane continues to blow up and then even this week get a win? That's probably what I would do. I would stop trying to fill Saquon, in a trade with a running back, because I think that's probably why it's not happening, why you can't get it done. But the running back landscape being so dry, somebody might take a chance on Saquon and give you their wide receiver, especially Devontae Smith struggling. People think he's maybe not going to be a wide receiver 1 after he has one bad game. So I'd definitely go attack that. That would be my move. Would I go after Kupp? Would I go after Olave? Absolutely. Ridley even, potentially, yeah. And maybe try and get a little more with Ridley because he's so doubted. Thoughts on Keaton Mitchell? I like Keaton Mitchell a lot. Thank you, Young. Keaton Mitchell's pretty solid. Hold him, stash him. He's kind of like in the Roshan territory. You hold, nothing there yet, but you hold and you hope something develops. Definitely some major upside. Flex spot, Tank Dell or Michael Wilson. I go Tank Dell this week, but trust your gut because they're both very, very good plays. Hey, Smitty, my son caught his first touchdown today. Seahawks 35, Panthers 7. He's going to be a first-round pick one day. Let's go. Kill Will 1. Appreciate Kill Will. Kill Will to the moon. Catching a touchdown. Let's go, bro. Billy's son, doing Billy's son things. Appreciate you, bro, coming in with the super chat. Congrats to the kid. 2-2 PPR start. Howell, Brees, Pacheco, Diggs, Lamb, Ertz, Flex. Who do you start? Damian Pierce, Gibbs, Flowers. Well, Gibbs is out, most likely. Pierce is kind of like the safest play, but Flowers is kind of the high-risk, high-reward play. I probably lean toward Flowers a little bit. I think Flowers has a nice little day. I do believe that the Texans will have a good day against the Falcons, and Pierce could be a solid play. I almost want you to play both of them somehow, but I think you're just asking me for just one, right? Who do I start? So flex who to start? I lean Flowers, but I love both of them, and I would not be shocked if one of them had a really, really big day, and both of them had very nice days. So trust your gut, Joe. I would lean Flowers in PPR. If it's non-PPR, I go Pierce, but if it's PPR, I just lean Flowers, because even if you had like seven catches for 80 yards, that's like a huge day, you know. Running back stacked trade for Trade for an elite wide receiver 1. Tyreek, Tua, Pollard, Achane, JT, Kamara, Hall, Kupp, Olave, Puka, Pittman. No, I don't think I trade anything because, you know, separate trade for AR5. I definitely am okay with trading for AR5, but I like Tua a lot too. And you're stacked at running back as much as you're stacked at, if anything, more stacked at running back than you are wide receiver. You say, oh, you're stacked at running back. Okay, you did say that. But you're stacked at wide receiver almost as much. Like Kupp, Olave, Puka. Look, I know Puka and Kupp are on the same team, and we're probably a little worried about one of those guys dropping off. But you got a really good team. But would I trade? Let's say you keep Pollard, you keep Achane, you keep JT, you keep Kamara, you trade Hall or Kamara, or you trade Pollard. Achane, JT. You could trade JT on the high because you got so much running back help. And get like a top 4 wide receiver. Like, would I do that? Sure, off the buzz of everybody being excited. Or Pollard for like Diggs. Like, trade Pollard and Dell for Diggs. Trade Pollard for... It'd have to be somebody right there. Like, you could trade maybe JT for Kupp if you wanted to go that route. But you don't even need to... Oh, you got Kupp. You don't even need to do that, though. You got Olave, Kupp, and Puka. And Pittman's still decent. Pittman's not a wide receiver 1, but he's an excellent wide receiver 3-4. I don't even know you need to do this. Right now, I probably wait it out, bro. And you got Andrews as well. You got Tua. You got a fantastic team, Mateo. Wait it out. Let these guys gain value. Let Kamara gain a little bit more value. Let Hall gain some value. Let Kupp regain some value. Let Puka maintain some of his value. Let Pollard regain his value. Let Tua regain his value. Every single player on here but Achane needs to probably regain some value this week, except for Puka, and he needs to maintain it. And then you've got more trade potential next week than you do this week. Mateo, I'm going to say stand down. Sometimes no trade is the best trade.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
It's just sometimes the best move, and that's what I'm advising for you. Dark Knight coming in with another $5 hauler. Got offered Eckler for Hurts and Gibbs and D-Hop. 8-man PPR. You got AR5. I would go get Eckler in this trade. The fact that you got AR5 still, that's a fantastic move. As long as it's one QB. Okay? As long as it's one QB, AR5 is perfect. He's fine. Like, he's a top 5, quarterback. So that's great. Gifted came in with a redo. Appreciate you, Gifted, to the moon for that. Dropping a super and then coming in and re-dropping it with the question attached. Appreciate you. Trade Olave, Zay, T-Law. Olave, Zay, T-Law for Ridley, Garrett Wilson. I'm assuming that's Zay Flowers. Olave, Zay Flowers, and T-Law for Ridley, Garrett Wilson. It's pretty close. I'd probably take the Garrett Wilson Ridley side if you have like a great quarterback and this is a backup quarterback for you, just because it gives you that Garrett Wilson upside. He's getting saturated with targets. He's got a lot of touchdown opportunities. Some of them haven't come true, but I still like Garrett Wilson a lot. 12 team start, 10 half PPR, super flex Dynasty, JT or Olave. You got to go Olave right now, my guy, until JT gets his full workload. That kind of question is easy. JT in a some kind of garbage flex play, that's a whole nother dilemma, but that's an easy one. That's a really easy one. Wide receiver 2, Ridley, Pittman, Ridley. In flex Kamara, Breece Hall, Watson. I probably take Kamara, bro, because he did amazing last week considering. And I do love Breece Hall this week. He's a fun, high-risk, high-reward play. I would not question you at all if you started Breece Hall over AK this week. But I'd probably go Alvin Kamara. He's the safest play. Watson, you got 3 kind of mini monsters right here. And it would do you good to maybe trade one of them with another piece to try and upgrade something. I don't know what your quarterback situation is, but you could probably use a trade somewhere, I imagine, and you're going to have a dilemma every single week with those three. There's no way you're going to pick that right even 50% of the time. Tell Lego Batman I said what's up. Dark Knight, appreciate you. And yeah, he's in control of the bat signal over here right now. Appreciate you, Lego, for dropping, or Dark Knight for dropping another super chat, especially just to say hi to your boy, Lego Batman. Start 2, JT, Breece Hall, Ridley. Breece Hall and Ridley for me. Until JT gets on his horse, Hall and Ridley are fantastic plays. This is not a dilemma to me. And thanks again, Stanton, for the $50 hauler. You rock, bro. Appreciate you all coming in here. We'll open the phone lines briefly.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the show, sponsored by Ron Navy. Ron Navy has the highest super chat of the month of September, the $100 hauler. Ron Navy to the freaking moon. Thank you. Call into the Ron Navy phone line until somebody knocks him off the pedestal here. 30-second phone calls. Dial in. Appreciate you all for being here. You guys all absolutely rock. Thank you all for everything you guys do. Isaac, thank you. Superfish, thank you. Would you trade Henry before Kamara? I would trade Henry before Kamara. Absolutely. Henry's hard to trade though, but you go across position and most times you get something decent. You're live on the channel here, Laundromat Jack. What can I do for you, Laundromat Jack?
What's up, Smitty? I see you getting swole. I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, the Walker owner wants to trade for a running back that he can start this week. Can I run my running backs down by you and see which ones you'd offer for Kenneth Walker? He has Sharps too.
Yeah. Let me go to. Let me pull this up here. Hold on. Goodbye. What are you're trying to get? You're trying to get Kenneth Walker using a group of people, right? Okay.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker and Sharps because you need the running back to start this week.
Okay, so you're trying to get Walker and Sharps. Okay, go ahead.
All right, my running backs are Pollard, Bijan, A-Chain, Gibbs, Ford, and Warren.
Okay, so let me just start off by saying, no, and this is no offense to Walker, but I don't want to trade any one of these guys for Walker. I'd maybe trade Pollard for Walker, but to be honest with you, bro, you got to get more. Like the fair market value commands more. I'm okay with it, but you're not getting Walker for Ford and all those guys. You're not gonna. There's none of that even. Like it depends if you throw in like an elite wide receiver that's right there with Walker and you throw Ford in or something. You're not getting this. You're not getting Walker unless you trade one of these guys. But what could you get with Walker if you traded Pollard for Walker? Because the fair market value commands you get more.
I mean, he has like Nico Collins, Puka. He has Hawkinson, so I try to trade add Ferguson and A-Chain for Walker, Sharps, and Hawkinson, but he wouldn't trade Hawkinson.
I wouldn't trade A-Chain, man. I wouldn't trade him. I'm telling you. I don't feel like trading A-Chain's wise.
So just kind of roll with what I got.
I would trade Pollard, like Pollard for Walker and Puka or something like that. But I mean, you're trading for a player that's on a bye week. You're trading for a player that I'm kind of touting as a good sell high in Walker. It's not that I don't love him. I mean, I've been pumping him up all offseason, but I am a adjust and adapt person, and I'm telling you, I feel like it's a great time to sell ultra high. Not low, not medium. Don't get out of the Walker business. No one's saying, I'm just saying this is a great time to sell if you need pieces. So you have to get more with Pollard. Pollard for Walker and Sharps, get Puka. If you've got to throw in something else to make that Puka part work and do a 2 for 2, I do that. But don't force a trade just because he wants to trade.
Do you think Charbonnet is going to start like splitting time slowly as the season goes on?
That's part of why I say I'm adjust and adapt. Like I'm not just because I called Walker one of the best picks in fantasy football and because we love him so much and I still love him, doesn't mean I'm just going to stick to anything if I start feeling in my gut the tide's changing a little bit or there's going to be a little shift in value. So I'm just saying the combination of Charbonnet, the combination of the fact that, he's been kind of lucky in terms of getting those touchdowns. He's had those games where you're holding your breath the whole game, and at the end he pulls it out, has some touchdowns, and you're like, wow, Walker did it again. I like Walker. I love Walker. Walker's amazing. I'm not getting rid of him for just anything, but there's a lot of reasons that are kind of coming together that make me feel like if I'm being honest, and I always am, I'm going to tell my followers to try and take advantage of his ultra high value. Don't get rid of him. I have people come in and say, Smitty, I did it. I traded Walker for Pacheco, like you said. I didn't say anything of the sort. I'm merely saying that you gotta make a move if the move's there. All right, hey, appreciate you. Go get Puka, add something else in, get it done. Call us back when you got it worked out. Later, pal. All right, let's go to Draven. Draven, you got 30 seconds.
Smitty, can I put in JT and Cooper Cup this week?
I don't know. Can you?
I mean, I can, but would it be a smart thing to do?
I don't know. Will it?
JT over Damian Pierce.
I mean, I need the options, bro. Look, JT over Pierce, probably do that, I guess. But Cooper Kupp over who?
I got Tank Dell, Pickens,
Kupp.
and Higgins.
Kupp. Kupp, JT, let it ride. It's not like your options are overwhelming, bro. No offense. And I do like Pierce a little bit this week, but those are easy calls. It's not like you have a Ridley. We have people saying JT or Ridley or something like that. Let it ride.
Right.
Let it ride. Put him out there, Draven.
I'm going for my first win. So let's
got it.
Win.
You got this, bro. Later.
I got DJ Moore in though.
DJ Moore, attaboy.
Thank you,
yeah, you got a big lead. Let's go to Rags. Rags, you got 30. Jay, why do we call you Rags, Jay?
Jay's my middle name.
Okay, what's Rags though?
Well, that's my first name. It's part of my first name.
Okay, so either one's fine. Okay, Rags, you're up, Rags.
Either one's fine, yeah.
Okay. 30 seconds.
All right, I have a question for you. Rest of the season, how would you rank these RBs? Monty, Swift, A-Chain.
Monty, Swift, A-Chain. A-Chain 1, probably Monty 2, and Swift 3. But that doesn't mean that I don't have fears of Monty getting hurt, because I do. Monty they already broke Monty once. They put him back together like Mr. Potato Head, and they threw him out there the first game for 30-plus carries and got his career workload ever. Let's be real. They're capable of breaking him. It just pisses me off today that now that St. Brown's finally, we got a shot at more receiving volume being guaranteed for Gibbs this week. He's now doubtful. But that's how I'd rank those guys. A-Chain's the one. The Monty Swift one's debatable, and I probably wavered for a millisecond. This one I did not waver on. A-Chan's the one. All right, Regs.
Okay, sweet.
Later, pal.
Appreciate it.
All right, Kyle, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Am I crazy to start Dobbs over Goff and T-Law this week?
You're not crazy, but I probably go T-Law. I know everyone's wanting to write off T-Law. Buffalo's tough.
It's just a bad matchup.
Yeah. They're a little banged up, though. Dobbs over... So who's the other one? Goff? Goff's got no St. Brown. He's got no Gibbs. I don't know if I love that one.
St. Brown.
I just don't think I'm sitting T-Law for Dobbs. I know Dobbs could do it. I understand that. If you wanted to put your cojones on the table, I'd respect it. I wouldn't make you take a lap. Even if you got it wrong, I wouldn't. I'd just be like, that was ballsy. I like it. So trust your gut, bro.
Copy. And then, do you
I wish I could.
J-Mo this week?
Over who?
Pickens and Zay Flowers. 2-2.
Give me Flowers, man. I like Zay Flowers this week.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Smitty. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Trust your gut on the Dobbs one, bro.
I think that's what I'm rolling with. Honestly, I almost put in Zach Wilson.
I just think T-Law does have a bounce back game, but and like I said, Buffalo is a little banged up. But I would say like trust your gut. Like Dobbs is capable of like 2 touchdowns. You know, he certainly is. But I would probably roll T-Law,
Yeah.
but that's me. I might regret it just because I'm.
I think T-Law is going to bounce back next week. His schedule gets pretty nice. He's got like Indy
Yeah.
and a couple other teams that are pretty good matchups. It's like 3 in a row after this one game. So
I'm telling you,
kinda
he's
hoping
still a
on him.
baller. I don't care what anybody says. All right, Kyle, appreciate you. Later.
Thanks.
All right, lateral Nicholas, you got 30.
Hey, so I got offered a trade. I sent Jonathan Taylor, Brees Hall, and Tank Dell. And I get Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, and A-Chain. Or A-Chain.
Waddle, Evans, and A-Chan.
A-Chain. A-Chain.
A-Chan. Like, think Jackie
A-Chan,
Chan.
got it.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Chan. Tough one. Tough one, bro. Because
Yeah, I don't really.
he's on the
I
rise.
don't know if I.
He's on the rise. He's flatline, but definitely has upside. Waddle hasn't done anything yet, but I believe he will be on the rise. Evans is injured, and A-Chan is like the man. This is a tough one. I think that, like, wow. Chat, what are you thinking on this one? What should he do? Should he roll with the Taylor Hall side or the Waddle, A-Chan, Evans side? Here's the thing, though. Like, we believe Hall is going to get an uptick this week, right? What if he doesn't? Then this top side's going to be left with very little points unless Dell, steps up. So, like, this week, if Hall doesn't deliver, you could be hurting badly on the top part of this trade. Then again, Hall and Dell could both step up and blow up. Evans, obviously isn't going to help you. But he's injured as well on top of having a bye. Waddle, I believe Waddle bounces back, but he hasn't really done anything this year, so it's tough, So it's like A-Chan versus, could be A-Chan versus Dell and Hall this week, and, you're who knows. I think I probably lean toward, we got a couple votes. Double R says JT side. Chisel says JT side. Benjamin says A-Chain side. A-Chain side easily says Dark Knight. Manny says A-Chain side. I would say give me the A-Chan Waddle Evans side just because Evans has been very, very good. Very good. And he's injured right now, and on a bye week he gets to heal up. I think that you might be getting a boatload of points on this A-Chan side. Whereas the Taylor Hall side, we think you're going to get it, but we don't know. I'd rather bank on, like, Waddle and Hall, they could be very similar. You know what I mean? Like, Hall's going to get more work. Waddle probably will get more production. I would just lean toward the fact that you have Evans, who's been doing really well, and everyone's kind of just, like, forgetting about him again real quick. Just because he got banged up. Now he's got a bye week. Everyone's just kind of like, I guess Evans is nothing again. Like, really no signs of this not continuing for him. He just got banged up. And Baker, the Bucs are playing rather well. I would say give me that A-Chan side. But very, very close.
Thank you, Smitty.
All right, man. Appreciate you. That one's a tough one. That one's really, really tough to break down, to be honest. 516 caller. Who's this? Where are you calling from? From New York. What's your name, bro?
All right, Jim.
Jim from New York.
Fields. Yeah, Justin Fields had a huge week. I watched
He
the
did?
videos.
He did?
You called him a QB1. I went out and got him, Smitty. Got him. He was underperforming. I was a little upset. Big weeks recently.
Were you? Let me ask you a question. Were you mad at me personally? You can be honest.
No.
Hey, man, come on, be honest. You're a little like this guy. He's done it though. He did it. Okay.
Never personal. He's coming up. He's on the up and coming. He's huge.
All right,
He's huge right now. Anyways, I got Palmer on a bye. I got Godwin on a bye. I played Dotson. He dropped a stinker. and now I'm pretty stuck. I got Waddle and Tutu starting. So do I roll with Tutu, or do I pick up like Lazard or Tony and stream someone like that in a full PPR format?
There's no other better options than that, like McLaughlin or.
Well, yeah, I have him too, but I can't start him.
Why?
Flex Dotson.
Oh.
Flex Dotson by accident.
Yeah, you gotta. You always try and leave your flex spots available. You know, that way you can, you know what I mean? You can swap out different positions. That's always like Fantasy 101. Put your Thursday night guys into lineup spots.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I guess Tutu still got upside, but Tony, I don't know about. Rashee Rice is decent this week.
Raymond also. Khalif Raymond.
Nope.
I think Mims is available.
I like Mims. I go Mims, I think. Does the chat agree? Right. Mims or Tutu Atwell with Cooper Kupp being back? Mims or Atwell? I think Mims could be a pretty decent play. Like, Mims doesn't make me want to vomit in my mouth when you say I got to start Mims this week. I'm like, okay. You know, that could be okay. As long as he's healthy and playing. Mims, guys? Are we going Mims? Let's see what the chat says. Keaton Mitchell or stash. Keaton Mitchell's a stash, absolutely. All right, Jim, look at the chat for the reaction, but I would say Mims. Make sure he's healthy and ready to go, though. All right, later, pal. Good job on Fields. Later. 240. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Calling from Maryland. It's Endu.
What's your name?
Endu.
All right, hold on. Endu.
What's the word end with a U after?
From Maryland. Okay, what can I do for you, Endu?
I am 1-3, 12-team league. I've been struggling a bit with mostly RB is what's been hurting me. I think my receivers and my pass catching core in general is pretty strong, but right now my running backs that I have on my roster are Breece Hall, Khalil Herbert, Javonte Williams, and Tajay Spears. So Breece Hall is basically my RB1, which moving forward I feel okay potentially about, but I would like to get someone a little more certain. So I wanted to see if I could cook something up. I was looking at the person in my league who owns Ridley and Ramondre, and I know Ramondre hasn't been great, but I had some interest in him to potentially start looking a little better, and I think he's been frustrating my league mate quite a bit. But anyways, my receivers that I have are Olave, Waddle, and Amon-Ra's out this week. Most likely, I guess, and Puka. And then I also have Kelce. But I guess out of my pass catchers, who would you be most interested in trying to sell?
I mean, Puka. Puka's the only one you can sell right now. Amon-Ra injured. No one's going to buy him at the right value. Waddle, he hasn't performed and has been out, and a combination of things. Olave, people just are fickle, and he had a bad week, and so everyone's freaking out about Olave right now. So you got to trade Puka, and plus Puka's value could fluctuate a little bit. I mean, I don't know that I like Stevenson for Puka. I don't think that's a proper swap, but I do think trading Puka right now for a running back is pretty smart for you, especially because you have Kelce. If you have Breece Hall, and let's say you get even if you got first of all, I'd try for Achane. I don't know if that's going to work. I'd try for ETN. I don't know if that's going to work. I'd try for Aaron Jones, who's coming off a horrible game returning from injury, and I think his owner might be crapping the bed a little bit. You won't get JT anymore. You won't get Eckler anymore. You could always try, but you won't get him. Swift, maybe, and Walker on a bye. Those are your options, man. You got to try and use Puka for that.
Yeah,
you do that, and
going
you're
for Jones. I was talking to the owner who has Jones. He's pushing back quite a bit, just saying like, you know, he's got like essentially he isn't too worried about him, and he still values him pretty highly. But I am trying to maneuver and see. Would you be willing to give up like Puka and a piece like Jalen Warren for Aaron Jones?
Sure. Who cares
You
about
would do that?
Yeah, I'd give up any player you haven't listed that's not, great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot that I had him to mention.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
Okay.
going to really
And
move the needle for him, but I got Jalen Warren. I mean, I like Jalen Warren, but I don't know that he's got the value.
Well, yeah, I think he's a Steelers fan, so I'm hoping that might help a little bit. But
Yeah,
I have a real quick one. If I don't get a trade going, I either have to start. It's looking like Gabe Davis or Jalen Warren. I did go up against Fields this week, so I'm thinking I might need the upside of Davis. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would start Gabe Davis regardless. He's a good play. He's a good touchdown opportunities. He's good for like 12 points, maybe 8 to 12 points. I like it.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate you. Later, bro. Appreciate you. Okay, we got super chats here that I'm going to get through. Jay says trade JTB Rob Dell for Bijan Jamison. JTB Rob Dell. I would probably take Bijan Jamison, bro. We got Hall and H-Hand. Yeah, go get Bijan. That's getting Bijan for the price we talked about here on the show here. Dark Knight, start 3, bench 1, Eckler, H-Hand, Swift, Kamara. You're starting, obviously, I mean, Eckler's on a bye, so I don't know what we're talking about here. Start 3. We're talking about in normal, every day, every week circumstances. I'd probably, when Eckler's not on a bye, starting Eckler, of course, H-Hand, and probably, I don't know. We have to see how Swift and Kamara do this week before I can fully answer this for the long term. But Swift and Kamara are pretty close. I think H-Hand and Eckler, once Eckler's not on a bye, is a guarantee. Like, that's your running back 1 and your running back 2, or your running back 1 and your running back 1. Literally. So one of Swift or Kamara could be traded, and you might want to explore that. Go get Devontae Smith before it's too late. Or maybe, given that you have Eckler on a bye, you could use all 3 RBs. Maybe you just come out of week number 5 saying, you know what, let's just hope another. There's always going to be a running back or a wide receiver that does poorly, especially one of Ridley and St. Brown. It might be attainable using one of them, and you feel comfortable trading for him because the injury reports suggest he might, he'll be okay, and he's not going to have this rumored hernia that everybody's talking about. That I don't know. There could be some legs to it, but there are a lot of people speculating it's a hernia. We don't know. If it is, that's a disaster. So you might want to wait on that. But I think you'll have one wide receiver that's going to do badly of the lot of Waddle, Debo, Watson, Lamb, Devontae Smith, Cooper Kupp, Olave, Ridley. And so I don't think all those players, those buy low wide receivers, will be off the board for you. So you can wait and let Kamara and Swift maybe regain some value, even though Kamara had a good week in week 4. I think Kamara could prove to everybody he's the real deal, rushing the football, scoring touchdowns and whatever. So you'll have some trade opportunity, Dark Knight. You don't need to make this move now, especially when you need all 3 of the RBs with the bye week. Appreciate you. $5 hauler from Lopez, 2-2. Stroud, Saquon, Achane, Lamb, Amon-Ra, Hall, DK, very good team. JT, unbelievable. Shopping Saquon, but no one biting. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Stroud's interesting and a very good play. It's not like Stroud's bad at all. I don't mean this in that way. But would I try and go get a QB upgrade like Stroud to Hurts, Stroud to Mahomes, while Mahomes and Hurts are a little bit undervalued? That might be the topic of tonight. Not that anybody's going to have a ton of time to make some trades, but we talked about at the top of this show that Bijan and Kelce are 2 of the best buy lows in fantasy right now, something that may not be the case after week 5 plays out. So you have very limited time, like less than 24 hours now, to go get deals done. But I think Hurts and Mahomes are also included. We also have an entire buy low list right here that we've talked about over and over this week. and this list right here, a lot of these guys aren't attainable on the cheap anymore. Taylor, no longer, especially with this news. People remember what they hear, and they're all amped up about Taylor now. Not able to buy him low. Cooper Kupp, probably not anymore. HN, probably not anymore. Eckler, Watson still, AR5 still, Ridley still, Breece Hall still. Those are still capable players of being bought low. So appreciate you dropping your question. As far as like other moves to make, Amon-Ra is a little concerning right now. I don't think you can trade him injured right now, but you can certainly, if you wanted to, try and move him for, let's say, a Devontae Smith or Olave or something like that. If you wanted to be safe and somebody was willing to take a risk on him, you could do that. I'm waiting on Hall. I'm not trading DK, probably low unless you can trade him high. HN, I'm not selling. JT, right? JT, fantastic. You got a really good squad. I'm just trying to upgrade a quarterback. The fact that you have JT and HN moving forward makes me like tempted to say, and as much as I like Stroud, and maybe the chat will disagree with me because I think Stroud could be top 6 or 7 or whatever, I would trade Saquon to get Mahomes or Hurts. I would, even if I'm giving Stroud up, just because of how dangerous your team would look with Mahomes, HN, JT, Amon-Ra, Hall, DK. It would just be a game changer. I just don't know that Saquon's going to get you what you want in a trade, and you just hold on to him and hold on to him and hold on to him. I think it's a huge upgrade. Mahomes is a massive upgrade. That's the way I would use Barkley. It's not easy to trade him. And if you can't do that, trade him straight up for a Devontae Smith right now while Devontae Smith is still super undervalued. Jamar Chase, Swift, or A.J. Brown, JT. I'm going to go with long term. I guess Swift and Chase is better right now, but long term it could be AJB, JT. I probably lean AJB, JT if you have the ability to weather through that, that potential, like, not slow climb, but progression of JT getting volume. Should I trade DJ Moore and JT for Eckler and Ayuk? I would take Eckler and Ayuk in this is another one that, Joe, it could benefit you later if you've got like a 3-1 record or 4-0. JT and DJ Moore might end up serving you better, but right now I mean the thing is Eckler's on a bye week though, so it's like he's not helping you this week. And DJ Moore already played, so you can't even make this trade to be effective this week. I don't know. What's the chat think here? DJ Moore and JT or Eckler, Ayuk? That's a really, really tough one. I'm going to leave that one up here for the chat. And hang tight, Juan. I'm almost coming to you. We got Tanner here with a $5 hauler. Trade Ford, Geno for Burrow and Sky Moore. Yeah, I'd take Burrow. I mean, that's kind of a nothing burger trade, but Burrow's got the highest upside. I'm trying to acquire Burrow cheaply. That would be cheaply. Sky Moore, then leave Sky Moore out if you don't need him. That way it looks even better for you, and he might accept it more easily. I asked for Warren instead. Thoughts? I just take Burrow. Don't get cute, and you're asking for Burrow's the best player in the deal, so I do it without adding anything in. Stacked at wide receiver, I got offered Gibbs for Madison and Flowers. I would take Gibbs and hold him. I know a lot of people are going to write him off after being now ruled out probably for week number 5, and he's going to be free, and you're going to be able to trade for him for free. Madison and Flowers, I love Flowers. I do. I love him, but I would take Gibbs and stash him on my bench unless Flowers is a starter for you. All right, here we go. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. Appreciate you. And what do we decide on Joe's super chat here? JT side. So JT and DJ Moore. JT side, DJ Moore, JT. Yeah, Joe, again, as I said, if you have a record that allows you to weather through JT's slow progression, you're obviously missing DJ Moore this week. I don't know how this trade will look executing on, given that DJ Moore's already played. But you're trading DJ Moore and JT, right? Okay, so you already have DJ Moore. Yeah. Would I keep DJ Moore and trade JT for Eckler, give up something else with JT to get Eckler? I probably would, especially coming off the bye week. That's kind of what I would advise you to do. Hold on to DJ Moore. Juan, the newbie, you got 30 seconds, bro. What can I do for you, pal?
Hello, Smitty. Love the show.
Thank you.
I just wanted I made a big trade like in the beginning of the week. I traded Mixon, Gibbs, Hall, and Watson for Bijan and Lamb. I know I gave up a lot, but like it would solidify my team.
Hall, you said Hall?
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson or Christian?
No, Christian.
Okay, so for Lamb and who? Bijan?
Bijan. Yeah.
Okay, so Mixon, Hall, Gibbs, Chat. No, you did fine. Lamb and Bijan? That's a smash, bro. That's a smash.
Yeah.
You
And
didn't
then
get.
also, I'm thinking of trading. You think Diggs and Lamb is a good idea for JJ and Olave?
Diggs and Lamb for JJ and Olave. Diggs and Lamb for JJ and Olave. Yes. I'd take JJ.
All right. Sounds good, Smitty.
Because, I mean, Lamb and Olave
One more.
Lamb and Olave are pretty close, so you take JJ.
Yeah, another one. Now that Gibbs and St. Brown are both doubtful, you think I should fire up Monty instead of Achan?
I think you should try and find a way to start Monty, but you can't take Achan out of your lineup. You need to start both.
Wait, because I'm going to either have to bench like Lamb or Chase.
Well, bench Lamb.
Bench Lamb over Achan and Monty?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
I mean, look, that's what I would do. Trust your gut, bro. But Lamb's got a tough matchup anyway. You know,
Yeah,
not that the Niners weren't worked over by the Rams. They were. Puka had a great day. Kyron had a great day in the same game. They worked them over. They routed them. But the Niners are at home. They're still capable defense. And when all things are equal, I can use matchup. But I don't let matchup sway me, like change my tune or anything. But you're talking about Monty having a field day. So Lamb's the easy sit. And if it doesn't work out, it's still the right move. I mean, everybody in the chat will tell you Monty over Lamb, and you're not sitting Achan.
All right, Schmitty.
All right, man.
All right.
Trust your gut, though. You know, I'm wrong all the time. It happens, bro. So you gotta trust your gut.
No.
All right, later, pal.
All right.
All right, trade Jay. I'm sorry, Jay says I missed his super chat. Trade JT, B-Rob, Dell for Bijan Jameson. I didn't miss this. I ended up responding. Jay, I responded to this. I said, wow, yeah, Bijan and Jameson all day long. JT, B-Rob, Dell. Look, I like JT a lot, but Bijan, this is, I think I even said the words, this is how you trade for Bijan. And I think I even maybe switched over to the screen after, I think. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I got you anyway. Bijan and Kelce, this is a textbook way to trade for Bijan right now because you won't be able to get him after this. Hall, Achan, Bijan to the moon. JT, B-Rob doesn't do it for me. Dell is definitely a player I hate saying goodbye to, but JT's going to be progressively getting better and climbing up, and Bijan's about to go nuts. So buy Bijan now before it's too late. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate your super chat. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you all later tonight when we go live. We'll probably do a draft or two at the end of whatever start bench advice we do. I will see you all later. Appreciate all of your super chats. Thank you to all my $20 haulers tonight. This afternoon. Justin with the $20 hauler, Stanton with the $50 hauler, and Thomas with the $20 hauler. You guys to the moon. Appreciate every single one of you. See you tonight. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, live whenever big news breaks like this Jonathan Taylor news, even if we're like an hour or two late, depending on where your boy is. If I'm out and about and I have to come home, race home. But we're live whenever big news breaks like this news right here, JT. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and live a lot of the graveyard shifts in the evening. See you all tonight. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the hey, we only got a hold on, whoa. Where's the panic button when I need to punch the panic button.
Alert. Alert. Panic mode initiated.
We have 114 thumbs up with 350 to 400 people in here, popping in and out. 114 thumbs up. We can hit that to 200. 350 people can get 114 to 200 before we end the show, please. Those are rookie numbers. Rookie numbers. Appreciate you all. Get Lamb'd. Get Brees Hall'd. Get JT'd. See you all later tonight. Hit that thumb up button, please, before you exit. It really does help the channel. See you all later.